Welcome to PMPR, the Perfect Movie Podcast Public Radio Network. And today, we are joining the Perfect Movie Boys as they continue to discuss the best and worst movie releases of 2025.
Okay, so Predator Badlands is directed by Dan Trachtenberg. He is the director of Prey, which came out a few years back. It debuted on Hulu. It was like a straight to series streaming movie, and it was a decent Predator film. And this one, Predator Badlands, is a decent Predator film. So I think having two decent Predator films under your belt is like, for whatever reason, is kind of a triumph because those movies, for whatever reason, for people, that and Alien are hard to make. And he also made Predator. He had a hand in making Predator, Killer of Killers, which was also on Hulu, and it was a animated series or animated film which followed an anthology storyline where all these different characters throughout history have run-ins with the Predator, and then at the end they kind of have a coming together moment. But you have like World War II pilots, Japanese samurais, a bunch of different types of warriors. You have like Vikings and stuff, and it's pretty interesting, pretty neat. So if you haven't seen that one, check that one out. But Predator Badlands follows a Yautja runt from the planet Yautja Prime, which is the Predator homeworld, and he is seeking approval from his father, uh, which is the clan leader. So I guess each Predator faction has its own clan, has its own hierarchy, and so this is like a battle world or like a this species. All they do is like they want to improve their ability to kill, and they want to become better hunters. And so they go throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe, finding these planets and doing these ritualistic huntings there. And they quite often go to Earth. But in this movie, this follows a younger predator, and it's so weird to keep saying predator like that.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of trying to, it's like a coming of age story, and he's ostracized from his clan because he's a runt, and he was supposed to have died just due to the fact that he wasn't strong enough in this clan. It's like the Spartans kind of thing where they throw babies off a cliff, but in this case they'll kill their teenage son because he's not strong enough. So that's it's just an interesting kind of dynamic, but it wasn't explored enough, and I almost wish we would have saw more of that aspect of just like the day in the life of this species of alien. But instead, have this coming of age story where he travels to this planet to kill this one beast that is feared throughout the clans and bring it home to his father so that he'll be accepted by his clan.
Mhm.
Along the way, he runs into a synthetic or an android, which is a part of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which is a direct tie to the Alien franchise. So they're doing that one again. Uh, Alien versus Predator is going to come back in a big way, probably in 2027. So be on the lookout for that one.
Be on the lookout for Elle Fanning in Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Requiem. Um, yeah, the movie was fine, and I think that if you like the Predator films, you're gonna love this one. And this one actually takes like the whole story is about the Predator. You don't really hang out with a lot of like human characters,
Yeah.
uh, just
Why
because
is the
you're
movie
following.
called Predator 2? It's not called Danny Glover Runs Around LA. Finally, a Predator movie's named right.
That movie was woke and gay because Danny Glover was walking around L.A. Um, yeah, this movie is literally about the predator, so you should have no complaints, but people will because people are dumb.
It does what it
Uh,
says on the box.
yeah, it says first hunt, last chance. That's what it says. Okay. Um, yeah, that's really all I had for it. It's a competent film, and I think you should watch it. It's fun, and it's a good time to kind of turn your brain off.
Kaylin, I think we've teased enough. I think there's been enough foreplay. I think there's several movies that we can knock out in quick succession that are sort of at the tippy top of the 2025 pile. And I think I bring to you maybe my favorite movie of 2025, Sinners,
Wow,
starring
I was not expecting that.
Michael
Sorry.
B. Jordan. I mean, Sinners is not flawless. That's what I'll tell you right away. But
No.
as a man that's watched this movie about 3 times this year, um,
It gets
it's
better every time you watch it.
and it's just a hell of a time.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
when you watch it in the theaters, it was a hell of a time. At home, it's a hell of a time. Now there are moments. There's several moments that in a very sort of like cinema sins, like what the hell is happening here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially during like the action sequences. I think of when like the Asian mom, I'm blanking on her character's name, but when she like screams and lets all the vampires in, like that action scene has so many like, wait, who's on the floor?
The
Who's being
action is
attacked?
terrible.
What's happening here and there?
Oh,
Little moments,
yeah, the action
but
is that scene in particular is pretty bad.
but it's just so amazing. It has a couple of the best scenes ever. Preacher Boy's song sequence
Yeah,
is
no, literally. The some of the most I don't really know how to say like something you've never really seen before.
mhm.
And these scenes in particular, we'll get into more spoilers probably down the road, but they're just so well executed, and you feel so much emotion in it, and it highlights all of these like uh, I guess you could say historical aspects of music and its contribution to society, and it's wonderful.
Well, what I love about it so much is I've already talked about how fun it is and how there's great
Yes.
moments, but there's also depth. There's meat to chew on. There is things to think about when you leave this movie, but also you can just enjoy like a bunch of vampires dancing in the night to the song Rocky Road to Dublin, you know? Like it's just, and it also in the marketing, it was such a beautiful game of hide the ball because you're like, okay, period piece vampire movie, but they completely hid the fact that this is a music driven movie. It's damn near,
It's borderline a musical.
well, I mean, a musical would mean that the music forwards the action, like the music has
Yeah,
plot
yeah,
relevance.
sure,
But it
sure.
is so musically driven in the way like I movies I think of like School of Rock or like
Yeah, yeah,
like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. These are movies that are driven by the music, or Baby Driver is another great example. Like these are movies that would not exist without the music that made it. And it's also talking about the music that made it. Like the whole thing with, and we're gonna go full spoilers on just about every movie, and we're gonna spoil this too. Remick, played by Jack O'Connell, the vampire, sees Preacher Boy, played by Miles Catton, who I believe is like a newly
he's
found
he's an
talent.
actual artist. Yeah,
Um, he desires him. He desires Preacher Boy in the way that many like white producers across many decades of music have seen these black artists and been like, I want that, and I want to make that my thing because
yeah,
I think that's cool. And it
yeah,
makes me feel something. Because what I also love about this movie is Remick, while the vampire and not and obviously the villain, I think there is sincerity in these parts where he's like, your music connected to my like heritage. And he's specifically Irish, which is important because
yeah,
Irish are very downtrodden people. And he's like, you brought me back to a place that I don't remember since like my ancestors in the homeland. Like you brought me to this deep place. Um, and it just ties together so beautifully, both the ideas and the like popcorn in your mouth, just like fist pumping action and
yeah,
fun moments that
yeah.
a movie that I'm so shocked, and shout out to Ryan Coogler, who I think the last time he did this was with Black Panther. Now Black Panther really fumbled the bag in the action sequences as well, I think. But like made a popcorn blockbuster action movie that also has depth and intelligence to it that doesn't feel like it's crawling up its own ass or like it's haughty or it's trying to dance above the audience's
Yeah, and
heads.
and it handles the subject matter and the social commentary aspect. I guess you could say tasteful. I mean, tastefully. It's wonderfully done in this way of kind of like, yeah, you still have this aspect of like the Deep South and racism at this time. Um, and it showcases the struggle of these characters, but it also shows what unifies them through music and the culture and how rich it is. And there is one scene at the end that I felt like kind of hit the point over the nose a little bit too hard. And I almost felt like it was unnecessary. But after watching it the second time, I'm like, you almost kind of need this scene. And it's purposely the scene where Michael B. Jordan's character, is it Stack that survives?
I believe so. No, it's
Okay.
smoke because he's always smoking his cigarettes.
Yes, it's Smoke. Smoke survives at the end. So the story follows two brothers, Smoke and Stack. They're twins, both played by Michael B. Jordan. Um, but at the end, spoiler alert, he is on his own and he takes on the Klan. Basically, he goes on like a suicide run to try to murder these Klansmen that had planned to kill all of these people in this juke joint. And when I first watched the movie, I thought that scene was unnecessary because I felt like, okay, we already did that.
Yeah, it
The
does
the
kind of
vampires
it
the
does kind of feel
vampires
like a
were
hat on a hat, you
right.
know?
The vampires represented that appropriation, that systemic racism that will not allow a black man to succeed in this country. And then to show that the Klan show up and
Hmm.
you're just murdering them with machine guns, like, yeah, I love to see that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I almost felt like it was unnecessary. But after watching it the second time, I was like, there's so much emotion to that scene though. Because when he is about to kill the leader of the clan, he turns around and he like sees his wife and his son, his unborn baby, basically.
The parallel
Uh,
here, I think, with other like Ryan Coogler's previous work is like the Black Panther take the flower and sit at the tree with like the
oh, the
ancestors
ancestor tree. Yeah, it's a
scenes.
beautiful scene
Like
too.
he's this is a recurring motif with Ryan Coogler movies where it's like speaking like we're crossing over into the realm of the dead and like speaking with them specifically,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. And I just thought it was beautifully executed. And there's just so many standout moments that stick with you. I mean, this movie came out in April, and I still remember scenes vividly. And that's a great sign that you made a great film because it sticks with people. And the characters are amazing. One of my favorite characters in the film, and I'm trying to find him based off name alone.
Uh,
Not Cornbread. Everybody loves Cornbread
I
though.
love
Uh,
cornbread. Are you talking
but
about
the drunk,
Delta
um,
Slim?
Delta Slim. Yeah, he's my favorite character, and he has the most beautiful scene in the movie when they're driving down uh this dirt road, and it's just in the deep south, and he's telling this story about how him and some buddies came across some money, and one of his friends was executed in the street. Um, because they thought that they had stolen that money, basically. You know how that racist shit goes back then.
Hmm.
But the way he said it, and apparently that whole scene was improvised. And there's so much emotion behind it. And then they start singing, and it's just beautiful, man. The music is fantastic in this movie.
That's the actor's Delroy Lindo. The last thing I remember seeing him in is in Malcolm
Malcolm X.
X.
Yes.
He's a great standout in Malcolm X. Talking about the clan killing scene, the thing that it brings to mind, which is you can go check our Django Unchained podcast. Now, it's not as great as this finale, but it's like when Django comes back and murders everyone else and then blows up Senior
Yeah,
Candy's
it's
place.
overkill,
And
but
then
it's
the
it's
horse
deserved
does the little
overkill.
dance while he smokes a cigarette
Yeah,
on it. Like
yeah,
that's kind of like Michael B. Jordan just Tommy gunning a bunch of Klan members for you to like applaud in the audience. Like, yeah, fuck
yeah.
them.
Or it's like the equivalent in Glorious Bastards, another great one, where they're just murdering this whole theater full of Nazis.
It's when
Uh,
it's when no, what it literally is when they like kill Hitler for like a full 60 seconds.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's
They just
amazing.
keep unloading the clip, the unlimited clip on him.
Um, yeah, fantastic movie. I honestly feel like this movie deserved a episode of its own, and I
Yeah.
almost am like shocked why we didn't. I think it was just timing. But yeah,
Yeah, it's so rare, and we talk about the state of movie making so often that an original blockbuster has these like, what is it, like 150, $200 million budget, something like that, is an incredible success, an original story that is driven clearly by an auteur, being Ryan Coogler, the writer director, and has all this meat to chew on, which is like, as much as I love Weapons, which is a movie I think we'll talk about soon and is like in competition for my favorite movie, Weapons is empty calories compared to this. Like,
yeah,
there is so
it
much
really
more
is.
to think about when you leave the theater that informs like our current society and the history we came from. Like
And it's
it's
amazing that a movie like this can come out during this time period and be so successful. And that's how you know that the narrative isn't what it seems
well
and that it's not the majority. And that,
also
yeah,
full context. We are Minneapolis, St. Paul area residents. This is January. We're in the middle of our full the ICE brigade is down here marauding around, kidnapping, shooting, all
I mean, the
kinds of
reason why
people.
we're doing this stream is because we don't want to go outside, quite literally.
Um, I think it depressingly, maybe it's also further proof that like Remick, like many white producers, many white people in general, I think, um, they can consume black art without really understanding or wanting to actually like comprehend or interact with the ideas behind it. They just
That's
want
a
to
great point.
they want to take it in and they'll throw it away. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that went and saw Sinners and were like, fun vampire movie. And that's all they ever thought about it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And that's about like media literacy, actual literacy, and like people's thoughtfulness and willingness to like exchange ideas in our modern society. But um, I think that also could be part of it.
Absolutely. That's
Or
a great
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Great point. Yeah, if you haven't seen Sinners, I believe it's on HBO Max.
It's also like if you haven't seen Sinners and wanted to, you would have already seen Sinners. Like there's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. I think my parents debated watching this movie. I
Yeah.
don't know if they have, but this movie appeals to a large audience and it's fantastic. So definitely, if not the best of the year, one of the best for sure.
Kaylin, where are we going next?
Let us see. Yeah, since we're talking about bigger films that came out this year, I do want to talk a little bit about One Battle After Another.
This is where I just
If you're ready for this
w-
conversation.
won some points with our black audience, and I may lose them. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Um, okay, so I love this movie, and I was so excited for you to watch it because I believe I watched this first, and you watched it, and you came back with a different perspective than I did coming out of it. And I kind of wanted to hear what you have
Okay.
to say first before I kind of
Okay.
dive in.
So this is my platform, and to be clear, like I've avoided even reviewing this on Letterboxd for several weeks because I didn't really know how to contain my thoughts. Also, further context, the one time I watched this movie, I was in the middle of being pretty sick. It was like a sick afternoon, so that could also affect it. But this is like my experience of watching One Battle on Another. And this is a bummer because I'm not a PTA completionist, Paul Thomas Anderson, the director. But I've watched a lot of his movies. I've come to you and recommended Boogie Nights, a movie I really love. Um,
There Would Be Blood, probably one of the greatest
yeah,
films of all time.
he's made many great movies. Um, and I think there's still plenty of greatness in it, but this was like my experience of watching it. Okay, so this movie opens, and this is so funny that we're talking about this now, currently, with a bunch of revolutionaries in like I think the early 2000s or late 90s attacking a immigrant detention center and freeing all the captives. Okay. And in that moment, as I was watching it, I was going like, I really don't need a fictional victory in this area right now. Again, not the movie's fault. This is just my reaction to it, which could be on me. I'm like, I don't really need a fictional victory in this arena. And that annoyed me a little bit. And we get to the character of Perfidia, who is well acted um, by, is it Tiana Taylor?
Deanna Taylor, yeah.
Um, and she's sort of the driving force of like the first, what, like 30, 40 minutes of this movie, because it really starts with an opening act and then
The real
moves.
revolutionary. Um, and Leo's character just kind of happenstance
Yeah.
joined their cause.
Okay. And there were moments, and I feel like I'm the wrong person saying this because, like, here I am, a white guy being like, to you, a black man, like, I was uncomfortable with the racial politics of, or like the character Perfidia to me, and I kept coming back to this, and there's all these scenes at the beginning where she's like really out of control, and it's like, Leonardo, we're running away from this bomb we just set, but we're gonna fuck in the street right now. Let's fuck in the street right now. And like, and then 10 minutes later,
She's
the
giving
rep,
Sean Penn a boner.
yeah, and Sean Penn approaches Leonardo DiCaprio in a grocery store and is like, "Do you like black girls? I love black girls." And I'm like, "Okay, okay." And then 10 minutes later, the revolutionaries are robbing a bank, and a woman jumps on the counter and announces that her name is Jungle Pussy. And look at my face, this is power. Now, that annoyed me, but then I learned that the actor is actually a rapper who goes by the name Jungle Pussy. So I was like, I can't put this on PTA. Um, and then our character Perfidia exits the film, leaving a note behind for Sean Penn's character to read that says, "This pussy don't pop for you no more." And I'm just picturing Paul Thomas Anderson with his MacBook on his lap writing, "This pussy don't pop for you no more." And it's a little bit of the Quentin Tarantino thing. And it's a little bit of like, I guess, Perfidia in general. And maybe I'm just being too weird or too uncomfortable with it, but it just felt more like a fetish than a character in her
Yeah.
portrayal. Um, and then it jets off into the rest of the movie. And there's a lot of great sequences when everyone's like jumping through when we meet Benicio del Toro and they're taking Leonardo DiCaprio across the rooftops with all the skateboarders. Like there's so much great shit in this movie, but from that jumping off point, I was like kind of already annoyed and like not on board with the movie. And I don't know if that's unfair. I don't know if it was my state of mind. Maybe I'll come back to it, and I'm pretty sure I'll come back to it and like it more than my first reaction. But I tried to restart it once and got like 20 minutes in, and I was like, this is not the time for me. Maybe
Yeah.
one day, maybe one day. And I just, this is basically my first time trying to like explain the feelings that I had as I was watching this, but I just kept getting increasingly like uncomfortable and weirded out. I don't know.
I I hear that, and I almost like don't even really know how to respond to that because that's actually not what I thought you were going to nitpick about. And I never really thought of it that way, I guess. I was almost like locked in from the jump
Yeah.
when I watched this movie, and I was just kind of along for the ride. And it had so, like you were saying, so much great shit in this movie, so many great sequences. Dude, the music in this movie,
Hmm.
the soundtrack is amazing. At one point they played "Ready or Not" by the Jackson Five, and when that came on, I don't know, my ears had a fucking eargasm, and it sounded amazing. It looked incredible,
Yeah.
and the ending sequence where they're driving through the desert and the camera just goes like this. It's so mesmerizing, and I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that before. Um, Leo's super sweaty in this movie, and I like a sweaty Leo. And he does great. Sean Penn is the standout actor in this movie. He eats every scene he's in, and it's not even really that it's his dialogue per se, but it's just his character and just the weirdness of it. And I think he captures the weirdness of like, I mean, what you can see today. This like far right, um, it's like incel behavior as well, especially in regards to like the Tiana Taylor, where he wants to own her, and he wants control over her. And that's why when she does leave him that note, like that
Yeah.
this pussy doesn't pop for you anymore, like that's kills him on the inside
And the
because
fact
he
that he's
doesn't have that control.
extremely attracted to this black woman and also trying to join like a white nationalist group called the Christmas Adventurers that are very
Yes.
intense about being like, we are pure Snow White, no
Yeah.
relations. Like the fact that they find out that he had sex with Tiana Taylor later becomes, again, we're going full spoilers, but like becomes the reason for his ultimate demise at the very end of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I just think it was just it was just a creative ass movie, and I loved every second of it. I'm not going to say that there wasn't flaws. There definitely were. Some of the pacing was all over the place, um, especially when they get to the parts in the desert at the end. Um, you're kind of like, okay, we need this to wrap up a little bit.
Oh my
Sean
God.
Penn's walk.
When they
Oh, go
cut
ahead.
back to Sean Penn and he was still alive after that one wreck, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, when is this gonna end?
Yes. Yeah. The pacing was iffy. Um, Not enough Benicio del Toro either. I needed more
He's good
of
as
his
this little
character.
spice. I love his little lines. Like I love his delivery. I This is the year I might have fallen in love with Benicio del Toro because I also like him in the Phoenician scheme, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But his little lines where he's like, "Yeah, I have refugees at my house, some real Harriet Tubman shit." Like the way he like casually says these really funny lines and his calm demeanor and like the little dance he starts doing when he gets arrested and they're like, "Sir, have you been drinking today?" And he goes, "A few small beers." I just love
You
his
small bears.
I love his delivery. What a guy.
And then Leo too. Like Leo is great at playing manic characters. Um, Between him in this and like Wolf of Wall Street, just him being sweaty and weird and like sketched out all the time is hilarious to me. Like I love how he's like trying to figure out the code of where the coordinates are to his daughter and he's just flipping out on this guy on the phone. It's hilarious. And he's become a great like what's the word for it? Actors that do their own stunts or like doing a bunch of body shit where they're falling all over this place and like
Like a
he
physical comedy?
yeah, like a physical actor, like physical comedy, and he's just super great at that for whatever reason. He's really convincing and he's just hilarious. I don't know. I really enjoyed his performance. This is not my movie of the year, but it's up there and I implore you to watch it again.
Um, Shout out to like the 6 years too late Mo Bamba drop at the school dance that
Yeah,
Infinity
that
Chase
felt a
goes
little
to.
out of touch for
It,
sure.
it feels like, and as I read more, because I was like, what is up with this movie? PTA is married to a very famous like mixed race woman and also has like mixed race children. Like, I'm assuming she's mixed race because she's lighter complexion. Maybe she's a black woman. Anyways, I'm forgetting her name at the moment, but like there's more to it. And the reason I brought that up is I'm sure his like actual teenage daughters were listening to Mo Bamba like as he was like writing this
And he was like,
movie.
"Oh yeah, hey, what
Yeah,
was that song
that's
again?"
what the kids are into these days.
I mean, it is a banger. I could see at some school gathering they have that on the playlist, you know.
But it is despite my misgivings, I think there's a lot there. Like even more than my mixed feelings on Frankenstein, which I thought technically was mostly really good. Like this is technically masterful. There's so many like great sequences, like car chase sequences. I think of the sequence where the like native bounty hunter like kind of has his face turn as he goes from delivering Leo's daughter to the white supremacists to be like murdered to when he goes and saves them. That feels very like No Country for Old Men, kind of the way that it goes
Yeah.
down.
Hmm.
There are definitely redeeming qualities that I think maybe when I have a different frame of mind, I'll watch it again and walk away from it feeling better. But I guess I also think politically it's just a little confused because it seems to pace the revolutionaries as like not ne'er-do-wells, but just like almost like dumbass kids
Yeah.
that needed to grow up.
Yeah. But
And the
also, I mean, they
ending of
needed
the
to grow up in order to train the next generation of
but
revolutionaries.
but the ending of the movie is like, guess what? We both have iPhones now, and you know,
Yeah.
the Leo's daughter is gonna go to that like protest, which I imagine being like that Pepsi ad with like Kylie Jenner, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That also felt a little out of touch too. Um, mm, I kind of want to segue this film into another film that's much along like the same kind of vein.
Is it a
Uh,
political movie talking about our current climate?
yes, it's also a little politically confused at times.
Oh,
Um, I'm talking about Eddington.
yeah.
Eddington, I want to pick as my film of the year.
I kind of agree. I don't know if it's my favorite film of the year, but it's certainly the film that like embodies the year the most, unfortunately, because it's supposed to be a period piece about COVID. But as, um, I mean, I've seen posted many times, RIP Renee Nicole Good, but the picture of Joaquin Phoenix firing his pistol while holding his phone is unfortunately really fucking relevant
Yeah,
that this like unhinged conservative is out just shooting blindly while live streaming, is plugged into their fucking phone, losing their mind, wreaking havoc in the name of what exactly?
right. And they really okay, this film is directed by Ari Aster, another master of horror. Um, Ari Aster, director of Hereditary, Midsummer. Um, am I forgetting another one? Yes, I am.
The Witch?
No, no,
Well, that's Robert Eggers.
that's Robert Eggers. Um,
Midsummer? Whatever. Continue.
anyways, Eddington. Um, this film is, I mean, this is the most bizarre film he's ever made. Oh, Beau is Afraid is the last one he made, also
And
starring
the closest
Joaquin
parallel,
Phoenix.
I think.
Yes, yes. Um, this movie, I don't know how he did it, but he captured the initial days of the pandemic so well and what it felt like to be in lockdown. And I even had the same like it just had the same vibe to it. Of I mean, we lived this is something we lived through. We all lived through. And I don't know how he did it, but he was able to like grab a time capsule and put it into a film and it felt so relevant, but it's so familiar too. And it was just almost eerie feeling, but also like a comforting feeling too, because I do have fond memories of lockdown. I know not everybody
Yeah.
does, but I don't know. It
I
was a weird fucking time, man.
I saw Eddington in theaters and it was funny, like in the audience, because it wasn't like super packed, but I don't know, there's maybe like 12 people in the theater along with um myself. And just sort of like the pitter patter of like when people are laughing at different moments because it like there are some moments that I laughed so hard at that were like dead silent in the movie, and then other moments that other people laughed at that were also that I didn't laugh at. It was like an interesting Rorschach test sort of for as like everyone found the humor in different places. um yeah, I think it's just a well acted and well directed, like the cinematography, like you think of that like final shootout, which is like also just like really bizarre and really kind of where the movie lost me at first. um
The sound design is amazing in this movie as
yeah,
well.
just the way it's shot, and like I think of that shot of like Joaquin Phoenix like panning around his town very panicked in the middle of the night as like the paid agitators or whatever, the people that are flown in come and attack
Was that
him.
supposed to be like Antifa
I mean, what it's really supposed to
or
be, I mean, I think it's kind
You
of
said
supposed
paid
to be.
agitators. Yeah. Or like
Yeah.
that was
I mean,
yeah, that
I think
universe's version of
the joke that's
if
made,
Antifa was a real thing.
I didn't really understand at the time, is they like cut to a jet flying them in, and that's the symbol on it is relevant to some like Democratic donor billionaire that, you know, Republicans have conspiracy theories about, maybe usefully. But yeah, I mean, that's the moment that most lost me. But
Well, it's
I,
tied to the whole like the QAnon thing
yeah,
because the grandmother or not the grandmother, whatever her name is, the lady who is Joaquin Phoenix's mother-in-law. She is like a QAnon conspiracy theorist. She's like always online, always looking at conspiracy theories. Their whole thing is like the children are missing and are hunted in the woods kind of shit um, that we've all fallen for at one time in our life.
right.
Um, yeah, and some of this stuff though too. And my first time watching this, I rolled my eyes a bunch because I was like, "This is such centrist fucking bullshit." There's
It
bad,
does.
good and bad on both
Yeah,
sides
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Especially during the protest scene where they're like, "See, this is how you protest when everybody kneels down." I was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Well,
Like,
the one, yeah, that was annoying, but the one that cracked me up is the guy that like has his, there's the teen that has his arc where he's like, because he's trying to impress his like activist girl at his high school.
oh yeah,
He goes
hmm
from like super liberal to being like a Kyle Rittenhouse stand-in by the
or
end.
yeah, no, he turns into literally. I don't want to say his name on here, but it CK.
Um, he he has this line where he's like, I'm up here giving this speech which I have no right to give because I'm giving it on stolen land, and I'm gonna sit down and listen as soon as we're done here. Like
Yeah.
there's a level of, I don't know, like white, like I can understand being annoyed with like activist white liberals like rolling around in their like I'm wokeness. Like I feel like that's half of the problem.
Well, can I
Not that
speak
it's
on that
equal and
real quick?
opposite, but I think that's like half of the problem of modern society is people just
Yes.
being like white liberals are fucking annoying.
Yes. Well, I can speak on this because I have a real life story that's kind of goes hand in hand with that. So during the Black Lives Matters movement, I remember being out and seeing this woman basically just being manic, and she was, your classic like progressive liberal, and
Right.
she was being manic, and she turns to all of us, and there was a bunch of black people, and she turns to us. She's like, "We're doing this for you. Get up here to the front lines." Basically, you should be joining us. We're doing this for you. And we all look at her and we're like, hell no,
Yeah,
because they're not going to be shooting at you.
excuse me,
They're going to be
Brittany.
shooting at us.
If you're doing this for me, then go do it. Bye.
And then there's a scene with the mayor's son's girlfriend, where she's like, she was dating one of the black cop
Uh-huh.
in that town, and she goes up to him and she's like, "You should be joining us. We're doing this for you." Da-da-da. And that hit so close to home because I literally lived that. And I just thought that was funny going back to your point.
Yeah. I mean, Eddington, a time capsule, unfortunately, of like half a decade and not just that COVID. Like COVID was the start, maybe not even the start. The backslide, I mean, we elected fucking Trump in 2016. So like the
We've
backslide
been
has
going
been
through
going for
this
a
for a while.
while, but it captures a moment. And I think politically, I was less upset with Eddington than I am with One Battle After Another. If we're talking about like political heavyweights, I felt like One Battle After Another kind of pulled its punches and had a weird way to weave through it. And Eddington was like so grim. Because I mean, where Joaquin Phoenix ends up by the end of this movie is quite funny and quite
Yeah,
sad and very
yeah.
Beau is Afraid.
Um, the best scene in the movie to me was the scene where he first goes into the grocery store and he's not wearing a mask
Yeah.
and he's just walking around, and that scene felt so real.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, that time capsule aspect where they were just able to capture this so well, just that feeling of what it was like to be around back then. And yeah, it's kind of crazy they pulled it off. I actually want to watch it again soon,
Yeah.
because I feel like this is one of those movies I need to go back and digest again.
Eddington, maybe Ari Aster's best. Maybe.
Maybe. I haven't seen
Hereditary's
Midsummer yet.
close.
I haven't seen Midsummer yet.
Kalen,
Beau's Afraid was good until it wasn't. But
Thank you for watching and listening to the Perfect Movie Podcast. If you're on Spotify, give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Tell a friend. If you're on YouTube, you can smash that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Also tell a friend. We'll see you next time.
When my son and me woke up one morning to find that my wife, his mother, had abandoned us, without a note, without a word, we were devastated. All hope seemed lost, but we had our community to lift us up. We had Eddington. And when I first ran for mayor, it's because I wanted to give back to the town that has given me so much. Since then, we've helped the governor in her mission to start building a 100% clean energy economy. We're working to provide homes to new technologies and create new, reliable, secure jobs. And as we walk towards the next term, I'm ready to continue leading our town and fighting the pandemic and the racial and economic inequities that COVID-19 only made worse. Re-elect Ted Garcia for mayor. We can't go back. We can only go better.